What's your opinion of President Biden's position on oil and gas energy production here in the USA, given that he's canceled the Keystone Pipeline and is curtailing drilling on Bureau of Land Management lands? Is this just a concession to the Green Progressives? Will we ever have a stable supply of renewable energy, given the issues of wind power we've seen in Europe? And do you believe there'll be enough renewable electrical generation capacity to offset the use of coal and petroleum to generate electricity?
Well, that's a lot to talk about. There is no question about the fact that we've got a lot of renewable energy we can get from solar and wind, and that it's gotten pretty efficient and competitive. And I am in favor of conserving the hydrocarbons instead of using them up as fast as possible. And I'm in favor of all this new generating capacity now that it's gotten so efficient from solar and wind. And if there were no global warming problem, I would be in favor of exactly what the government is now doing, which is encouraging a hell of a lot more solar and wind. I think it would be smart to do that just to conserve the petroleum. The petroleum has enormous chemical uses in fertilizers and chemistry and so on, and it's precious stuff. And I don't mind having a goodly part of it that remains in the ground. It's a good place to store it. I regard the petroleum reserves of the United States about the way I regard the black topsoil of Iowa. I regard it as a national treasure. And just as I'm not in favor of sending all the topsoil of Africa down and dumping it in the ocean, I'm not in favor of using up all the petroleum as fast as possible. So I love the idea of conserving the natural resources. They're all going to be used eventually. And I'm in no hurry to use them up rapidly. That is a very unusual attitude, but it's mine. And I'm very encouraged by how much energy we can get that is renewable from solar and wind with modern technology. We have a huge potential of getting renewable energy that way. And I think now that it's so efficient, we ought to go ahead and do it. But global warming, I'll be very surprised if global warming is going to be as bad as people say it's going to be.
Why?
The temperature of the Earth went up, 1 degree centigrade in about 200 years. That's a hell of a lot of coal and oil was burned and so forth, and it was 1 degree. I'm just skeptical about whether it's as bad as these calamity howlers are saying.